For years, when you heard the name SoFi, you probably thought, okay, student loan refinancing, maybe personal loans.
It's consumer stuff. Right?
Exactly. But today, we are moving way beyond that. We got a stack of sources that lay out what CEO Anthony Noto is calling a blueprint for a total market takeover.
And that's not an exaggeration. The source material we have details a really fundamental, a profound shift in the company's DNA. It's a move away from being, just a consumer-focused lender and toward becoming a technology and commercial banking powerhouse.
So the core mission for you, the learner, today is to really unpack this brand new strategy. They're calling it big business banking. And this isn't just some small expansion.
No, it's a declaration of war.
It is. It signals SoFi is leaving that sort of safe fintech sandbox and stepping right into the ring with global giants. We're talking JP Morgan, Bank of America.
Yeah. And this whole pivot, it hinges entirely on vertical integration. The entire structure depends on two key weapons working together. You've got the Galileo tech stack, which is already massive, and then this upcoming native stablecoin, so FUSD.
And that combination is what we're focused on today. That's the inflection point that maybe the market has been missing.
I think it is.
Okay, so let's unpack that. Historically, SoFi's been very successful, chasing the consumer. Why shift now? Why is big business banking so strategically significant at this exact moment?
It really just comes down to economics and scale. Consumer banking is great, it's stable, but the commercial sector, you're targeting a truly massive and incredibly deep pool of capital.
Just the sheer volume of money moving around.
The volume, exactly. Think about the transactions and deposits handled by huge corporations versus, millions of individuals. It's a different universe.
And is it just about volume, or is the quality of the revenue different?
Oh, that's the key. That is absolutely the key. Commercial banking offers much higher volume, yes, but it also provides what we'd call stickier revenue.
Stickier how?
These are non-interest fees, so processing fees, treasury management, payment services. They're much less capital intensive, and they come with way higher margins than just lending money, which, ties up your balance sheet. This is their path to real margin expansion.
And the sources confirm they're not making this leap from a weak position. They've hit 8 straight quarters of GAAP profitability. Their membership is over 12 million people as of, late 2025?
Right. They have that stable foundation.
So they can afford to jump into the Goliath sandbox.
They've used the consumer success to fund the commercial leap. And Noto's statements, they really reflect that confidence. You mentioned his aggressive quote that they would kick their butts.
Yeah, that's not subtle.
It's not just bluster. It's based on a very serious structural advantage they believe they have over those legacy banks.
Okay, so what is that advantage? Is it just they have better software, a better app?
It's deeper than that. It's the combination of the regulatory side and the tech side. They are a nationally chartered, FDIC-insured bank. That's traditional safety.
The trust factor.
But they're building all new infrastructure from the ground up. The legacy giants are, shackled to these ancient systems. SoFi gets to leverage that charter for safety while deploying completely modern, agile tech.
So same rules as a JP Morgan, but with 100% new plumbing.
That's the perfect way to put it.
Which brings us right to the tech. The sources really hammer this point home, that the old idea of SoFi being just a bank in tech clothing is being completely flipped on its head. So how does Galileo, specifically, help them overcome what has held back traditional banking for decades?
Galileo's the heart of the whole engine. It's been called the AWS of fintech for a reason.
The Amazon Web Services of fintech, yeah.
It provides that fundamental cloud infrastructure, the APIs, that not just SoFi, but hundreds of other fintechs build their services on top of. It's not a small thing. Sources say it's already processing over 8 billion transactions a year.
8 billion. Okay, so that's proven scale, that's muscle. But if the big legacy banks see this coming, why can't they just build their own? Replicate it?
Because they don't just have to replicate it. They have to replace everything they already have. These institutions are constantly trying to bolt new services onto mainframe systems that are 30, 40 years old.
It's like putting a Tesla engine in a Model T.
Exactly. It's incredibly complex. It's inefficient. It's unbelievably expensive. SoFi, by owning Galileo, has a cost structure that a legacy bank simply cannot touch.
So owning that core stack means lower operational costs for them, and they can pass that on as lower fees to their clients.
Lower fees, yes, but it's more than just cost. It's about the speed of innovation. Because they own the stack, they dictate the pace, they can roll out new services, test new features, and Critical trading integrates something totally new, like a stablecoin, directly into the payment rail.
Without asking permission from some third-party vendor.
No vendors, no compatibility nightmares, no complex licensing. That ability to innovate vertically, that is their competitive moat.
This is where it gets really interesting for me. You bring that massive scale, that moat, to the future of money. Let's talk SOFUSD, the native stablecoin, launching beginning of 2026. This feels like the final piece of the puzzle.
It's the absolute game changer, and the technical details here matter a lot. So FUSD is built on the Ethereum network, so you get that rapid global settlement. It's a dollar-backed asset, but here's the key difference from almost every other stablecoin.
Cool.
The reserves are held directly in a Federal Reserve bank account.
Directly at the Fed. That sounds like a huge safety signal. How is that different from other big stablecoins?
It completely eliminates credit and duration risk. If a stablecoin's reserves are in, say, commercial paper or even U.S. Treasury bonds, there's still a tiny amount of risk, right?
Counterparty risk. Something could go wrong.
Exactly. Or you might have to sell those bonds, which takes time. By holding the reserves directly at the Fed, it is a perfect one-to-one risk-free dollar, instantly redeemable. For a big corporate treasury department that can't tolerate any risk, that's everything.
Okay, let's put it in practical terms. Frame this for you, the listener, if you're a CFO at a big company. If I need to move, say, $500 million across a border today, what's my problem?
Well, your problem is you're using ACH, which is cheap but takes 2 or 3 days to clear. Or you're using a wire transfer, which is expensive, has high fees, and crucially, just stops working at 5 p.m. and on weekends and holidays.
The global economy doesn't stop on weekends.
It does not. And that friction introduces settlement risk. It's a huge operational headache.
So the SOFI USD solution on the Galileo rail just gets rid of all that friction.
In a word, yes. Their commercial clients can now settle huge transactions in seconds, 247, across the globe. But Noda points out it's even bigger than that. It's not just about moving money faster. It's about, and this is his term, programmabilizing money.
It sounds a bit like a buzzword. What does programmable money actually mean in a real-world commercial sense? Give me that aha moment.
Okay, think of a massive commercial real estate deal. Right now, billions of dollars can get stuck in escrow for days, even weeks, waiting for lawyers or title transfers.
Right, waiting on people.
Exactly. With programmable money, the funds are coded to execute only when a specific verifiable event happens. Let's say a digital title is recorded on a ledger. The moment that happens, boom, the money moves instantly. You eliminate the escrow agents, the fees, the multi-day delays. It's impossible with wires.
So if we connect that insane capability to the bigger picture, the financial implications must be huge. What does this whole shift do to SoFi's revenue profile, moving from lending to tech?
It completely changes the quality of their earnings. When Nodo started, 100% of revenue was from lending. Today, it's down to about 45% because the tech and financial services fees have grown so much.
And this new plan is meant to pour gasoline on that fire.
It's designed to make those high-margin fee revenues from Galileo and SOFI USD just explode. You're moving away from capital-intensive revenue towards stable, high-margin processing of fees. For valuation, that's a much, much better story.
A better quality of revenue.
Absolutely, and it just highlights their unique position. They're the only nationally chartered FDIC-insured bank that is actually building natively on-chain. On a platform like Ethereum, everyone else is still trying to patch those old legacy systems. They just can't compete on cost or speed.
And Noda's argument is that the market is just missing this. They're still looking at SoFi like a bank when he's talking about a technological supercycle.
That is the core of the valuation argument. If you look at SoFi with traditional bank metrics, return on assets, size of the loan book, it looks like a regional bank and it gets a boring low valuation multiple.
Right.
But if SOFI USD becomes the standard for B2B payments or even for interbank settlement for the hundreds of banks Galileo already serves, the whole comparison changes.
Walk us through that. What is the fundamental valuation difference between a bank and, say, a Visa or a MasterCard?
It's capital and scalability. A bank's growth is limited by its balance sheet. It has to hold capital for every loan it makes. Visa and MasterCard, they're networks. They just move money and take a tiny fee. They don't hold the assets. Their scalability is almost infinite.
Which means their margins are huge and they get those high-tech company multiples.
Exactly. Noto is basically saying, look at our lending book for stability, but you need to value our payment processing potential for growth. He's chasing the tech multiple, not the bank multiple.
And his stated goal, to make SoFi a top 10 financial institution, That requires something like 10x growth from here.
which you're just not going to get from consumer lending alone. It has to come from massive, scalable, high-margin commercial payment volume, which is exactly what this whole strategy is designed to deliver.
So what does this all mean for you, the learner, watching this sector, this big business banking announcement? It really seems to be the most significant catalyst since they got their bank charter in the first place. The stakes feel incredibly high.
I think the summary is pretty clear. You have a profitable, battle-tested business on the consumer side, providing a stable base. You couple that with a bleeding-edge tech advantage that competitors are just too slow and too bureaucratic to replicate. And the critical launch, SOFI USD, is just weeks away in early 2026.
It's the fusion of old-world security FDIC insurance, a Fed-backed asset with next-generation payment technology, all under one roof, all vertically integrated. This isn't just about SoFi growing. It feels like it could be a new template for what a financial institution is.
Which raises a really important question that you should be thinking about as the market starts to digest all this.
What's the long-term thought here?
Think about the network effect. Galileo already serves as the plumbing for hundreds of regional banks and fintechs. So the final provocative thought is this. What happens if SoFi successfully positions SoFi USD not just for its own clients, but as the underlying global payments rail for all the other banks already on its platform?
So it becomes the standard settlement layer for everyone.
Right. What happens to the global payments landscape when the AWS of fintech is fully operational and every one of its clients can instantly and safely settle money 24/7 with a Fed-backed stablecoin? The ripples from that, that would redefine commerce.